Okay, I'm here. Hey, what's up? What's up? I am chilling. It's been a very relaxed day. No, we could talk about everything. It doesn't matter. I'm okay with just lay it on me.
Live for hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Airship Lounge. I am your host, Crimson Rosso, and today I have a new guest who is here on our airship for the first ever time. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, what is up, everybody? It's Yaya back like I never left. You guys don't know me. I am a creator that's been making content on this platform or multiple platforms for years now. Primarily, I am known for anime games. I was here when Final Fantasy 15 was out, so I've also had my fair share of RPG love that I like talking about, and I play fighting games. Those are my things.
Yes, yes, and that anime in particular, the first one, the anime games, that is what inspired me to invite you to it because you've been talking recently about how you are not happy with more specifically the community of modern day fighting anime games,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
more
correct.
and more than anything around their level of quality. And I think that's an interesting discussion because I've gotten back into anime games as of recently because a friend gifted me the Ninja Storm games,
Okay.
and I've only ever played three, and now I'm getting back into the genre. We just beat one recently, and I've just been checking them out. And I thought to myself, with a lot of the new stuff I've been seeing, I've been very hit or oh, thank you for the follow. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
been very hit or miss on this era of anime fighting games, and I want to let you take because I know you are a very passionate person about this specifically. So I wanted to invite you onto this podcast to talk to you about what you think of the modern day of this.
Okay. So it's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that like the results of what they're complaining about is what they asked for, right?
Right. Like,
Prime example, um let's use modern. Let's start from like 2020 and up,
yeah.
right? Because that'll just be fair enough to do it. It'll make it even worse for the others.
Oh,
The
definitely.
vocal people are like, I hate anime arena fighters. I can't stand them. That's a lot of people. A lot of people go like that. I hate arena fighters. There's some people that's like, I like arena fighters, but they're trash. The most of them come out lackluster and stuff like that. But however, in the past 2 years, 2024 to 2025 currently, um, less than 45.5% are arena fighters. They've been diversifying the games in different forms nowadays. Now, what's promoted to you could be the arena fighters. I mean, more than likely that makes sense. That's what the mainstream's going to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's something people don't think about. They're like, well, why don't they ever promote the other games? They do, but like even then, what are people going to talk about? Random isekai versus Jujutsu Kaisen. Let's be honest. People want to
Yeah.
talk about Jujutsu Kaisen. You know,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
um,
Like, if I were to, like, go up to a normal casual anime fan and go, like, hey, what excites you more? This ReZero game where it's like a strategy kind of thing, or Jujutsu Kaisen getting a game? Like
right, right.
like everyone's gonna go obviously Jujutsu Kaisen. Like no matter what, no matter how hard you're like, well, they're just like they're normies or whatever people would say, and it's like I'm sorry, but like more people are gonna get excited for a Jujutsu Kaisen game than a ReZero game. Like that's the unfortunate truth. A lot of like
Yeah,
anime fans online don't really like accepting.
yep. That is very important. That a lot of people don't realize that like what they've asked for is they're getting it, but now they don't want it. It's a common thing in this anime game community. Um, and a lot of people will ask for a certain type of game, they get it. Then they always got 1,000 other reasons why they don't want to play said game.
Yeah,
You
like
know.
on one hand, I can like kind of understand like with gaming getting more expensive nowadays, you want your product to be this perfect thing when you buy it. But at the same time, it also feels like whenever they place these expectations, they're never able to be reached by anybody.
Yes. Um. So I agree with you. Like, there's two sides to all of this. Games are more expensive. You would rather pay. Like, let's be real. If I told somebody right now, $50 versus 60 or 70, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clear Obscure Expedition 33 or Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash. Obviously, I'm gonna say Clear Obscure, right? Like,
Right.
it's easier to pick that, and that's a better product for cheaper. However, I'm also talking about those games. A lot of those anime games that I did bring up are under MSP prices. Some of them have gone for 60, 50, heck, even 15 and 20. Prime example, everybody's like, why everything gotta be Arena Fighter? Nobody wanted to, in this community, in that community specifically, One Piece Odyssey, all One Piece games recently have not been Arena Fighters. They haven't had Arena Fighters since I believe 2011 or 2013 with Burning Blood,
Was
somewhere in
Burning
between those years.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I wasn't into One Piece like until recently. I just caught up on everything. Are the One Piece games like good? I didn't hear much about Odyssey. I heard some people
Okay. So
say it was like a really good game, and some people just weren't impressed by it. But
yeah. So here's the thing: Odyssey as a game is better than the average anime game, where it is what I like to call it in the way they design the game. It's pseudo persona. Now, story element wise, there's a little part of it where like it can get dragged out and you backtrack a little bit. That can be a very tedious thing. But from an RPG side of things and a lot of the elements outside of the in quotation easy, um, that you, especially if you play it on PC, you fix the game completely. It's a completely different game. But the game itself is it's a solid One Piece experience, right?
mm-hmm.
And I think that's good. And with One Piece games, One Piece has the Muso games, which are the One Piece Pirate Warriors games, right? That community will be like, I don't want any arena fighters. Ugh, I hate Muso games. Why do we? Who wants to play Muso games, right? But Pirate Warriors from 2, 3, and 4 constantly evolving. Pirate Warriors 4 just got an update, and if not mistaken, this year or a couple months ago, actually. So like
I think it got
that's
an update
big.
to make Gear 5 playable because I know like they did some
Yeah,
updates to give like later One Piece characters playable.
yeah. I think Power Warriors 4 got an update. I think it got ported to so many different platforms. Yeah, March, people are doing like whole breakdowns about the game. One Piece Power Warriors 4 recently surpasses 4 million units worldwide.
Good on One
So
Piece.
that's the thing about One Piece. One Piece games are constantly rising. Even if it's one of the biggest series in the world right now, One Piece games don't generally do well. And it's because you don't get those audiences that were into One Piece growing up. Over here, when it came to anime games, if it wasn't Naruto or Dragon Ball growing up and few outliers, nobody was playing it. One Piece, notoriously for its games, the one people that people will talk about would be like Grand Adventure, Grand Battle, But other than that, One Piece games are never really talked about in the States, at least.
I wonder if that was due to just how bad the original English dub was. Like, because
I think the big problem with One Piece is that like um early on, like, yeah, the dub was bad, but a lot of people liked the dub because of the opening, right? So there was some aspects that people still do clamor over to this day, like Gadio Gaio, Luffy, that stuff. Like, people love that. Like, but at the same time, One Piece had a dramatic error where, like, at a point where Toonami was dying, the only thing left on Toonami was still Dragon Ball Naruto, and One Piece was completely drifted off. And it transitioned very weird from Toonami to like 4Kids. It was a very weird thing that happened with One Piece.
yeah, One Piece. I think it's very interesting to think about like One Piece's history in regards to dubbing in the West. Because like it feels like it's been passed around, like especially when you compare it to something like Naruto or even Bleach's dub, which had a pretty solid one, all things considered, when it was originally released. And just like, man, it's just so weird to know that like now at this point with One Piece has fully finally like surpassed the both of those, especially considering its rough start in the West.
Yeah.
Although that's not what we're fully here to talk about, as much as I love talking about One Piece. So
Oh
another
well,
question.
no, keep going.
Oh yeah, like I was going to ask you another question about in terms of all of this, in terms of anime fighting games, are like, what would exactly be what would you think is like one of the main directions that anime games and their community could go through to possibly like sort of get more things focused on what they wanted?
Well, number one, um, the big honest truth is shonen is labeled as battle action, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, and this is where I'm split on it because arena fighters was a big part of the growth of people wanting more anime games, from to Tenkaichi to Naruto Storm. Like there's formulas that do work and they do really well. But generally, what would make more people happy is if they were 2D fighting games. Because at least if there were 2D fighting games, or even 3D fighting games, like there will be player bases of people playing them, and people will be interested to see their favorite characters on screen more often than just arena fighters. Arena fighters don't go anywhere because they're half-assed in a lot of areas that are not good compared to fighting games, like training mode, combos. That's a whole other debate right there. But I think another thing is a lot of anime games could benefit from doing what Dragon Ball does, and that costs money and time and budgeting. But Dragon Ball has this like three-way monopoly, right? You
Mm-hmm.
got your Arena Fighter, which is Sparking Zero currently, right? The toy box. Then
Yeah.
you have Dragon Ball Kakarot, that's the action RPG. Then you have the Xenoverse with the created character MMO like. They dominate in three areas with three different games that if you don't like one, you have something else to go to the other. With other series, they have one anime game come out at a time, and that's either the only thing you're gonna get or play for a while, or everything else disappears. And that's what it is. You know, it's one of those things where like the focus on anime games, I don't think one type specifically fits any anime game. Big thing that's happening right now, a lot of people are saying it with Invincible. They're like, oh, Invincible should be this action RPG MMO game, and I don't care. I love all those video games, right?
Mm-hmm.
RPGs are like my thing. Even though I don't talk about it 24/7, that is one of my things. But if you look at the big premise of what they do with the budget and stuff like that, fighting games are hard to make, but y'all would have people would have hated the Invincible fight action RPG if it looked like Invincible Versus. People would be like, "Oh, what is this? This is an action RPG? Y'all want us to pay for this?" While with a fighting game, fighting game's whole thing is gameplay. At the end of the day, if the gameplay not good, you can have all these 30 different features. If you can't play the game with friends properly or play the game if the gameplay's not good, you're not indulging in it. You're not gonna touch it at all. So I
Yeah.
think every genre can just every anime game. Like I don't think Jujutsu Kaisen only should work in fighting. You can make a hero shooter if you want to, and that's the creativity that I really do like about the 2020s with a lot of anime games.
Personally, I'd love to see a beat 'em up with Jujutsu Kaisen where you could like swap in the party members, like with Curse of
Yeah,
Clash, it was
exactly.
like a 2v2 kind of thing. But like imagine if you were doing like
Yes.
a beat 'em up and you could like play as Yuji and then like press like L2 or something and you swapped over to like Toto. Sort of like the swap mechanic from like Mega Man, like older Mega Man X titles. Or then I'd also
Hmm.
like to see them try to bring back the turn-based RPGs of Dragon Ball, which by the way, if anyone watches this and you have not played those, they're very fun. Like
Really
super,
good.
especially fusions. Like that shit is super addicting. Also, in terms of like anime games, do you think like the gameplay is what hurt Nen Impact? Because I remember seeing that game just kind of come and go.
That's not what hurt Nin Impact. Um, so here's the thing about Nin Impact. It's hard talking about fighting games because we are in a different age, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the big problem with that game is that it just doesn't look pretty. It's literally Marvel versus Capcom, but just Hunter x Hunter. It's literally what that is. And the problem with the gameplay, people do generally like it. There's people still playing it regardless or not. People are still playing the game. It didn't blow up the way people thought they think it was gonna blow up. But um, Nin Impact's biggest issue was that they delayed the game for 9 months, right? Came back, charged $60 for the way it looks. You have to if it doesn't look outstanding, you have to charge a lower price, right?
Right.
And the number one thing why well, here's the thing, I haven't even bought an Impact yet. And the reason why I haven't bought it is simply because as excited as I am to play the game, they broke my number one gaming rule. If you're gonna delay a game and it still come out ass, I don't even want to buy it now. Because literally the main problem with the game is the netcode is bad. It has 2011 netcode instead of rollback netcode,
Oof.
right? It's very inconsistent, very ugly looking to play online. And that hurt me because that's the only thing I wanted for Nin Impact was to have rollback netcode and the damn lobbies that work. That was it. That was all. Then the game has desyncing issues, all that in between. I was like, look, I'm gonna just do something else. I was already out of town anyway, so there's that. I wasn't tripping about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, what hurt Nin Impact was not the gameplay because people like Kusoge broken shit. Like if FGC people saying it, I could take them saying it. But when it comes to arena fighter stuff and people are going, I'm like, bro, you not finna sit here and lie to me and be like, oh, this game's unplayable. You're literally playing Sparking Zero with Broly KOing you in 2 hits.
Sparking Zero, man, that's such a weird game to think on because while I loved my time with it, every time I would play it, it always felt like it was trying to do two different things at once.
Yeah.
Like it tried to be the next big ranked arena fighter, but like it also wanted to be the goofy toy box where you could be Broly destroying the Z fighters in 5 hits. And it's just like,
Yep.
man, it needed to either be one or the other because you can't really do both unless you're super committed to making everything work.
Yep. My problem with Sparking Zero, I think the game's pretty fine. I think it's good as it is. I don't have any problem with how the game plays. Well, I did have some issues, but those are gripes. However, I think the communities, the way they treat it is childish to me. Like it's a fighting game, and they don't have that mentality that I wanted from the community of it. They think Tenkaichi is supposed to be this like baby game that nobody's gonna play it only one type of way. But I'm like, if we had the internet technology back then to do it, y'all would have experienced this back when we were like 9 or 10 on the PS2, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing would have been different because at the end of the day, when you play online, like yeah, you can have fun and casual match, but even then, people gonna be learning, trying new stuff out on you. That's just how it is. Right? Like just
Right.
because you play with a certain group of people and y'all did two types of attacks, don't mean the rest of the world played the game the same way.
Yeah, it
That
was.
would say that would be in the same boat. Like let's say like a shooter like Valorant or Call of Duty or you know Fortnite. If everybody played the same way, everybody be in the same ranked matches because everybody would be thinking the same way, have the same mentality, and that's not true.
Yeah, like that was that was just something that kind of screwed it over in the long run. The community for Sparking Zero is very weird from what I've seen of it. Like there are people who genuinely will point out like there could be more polish on a lot of stuff in the game, and then they just kind of get drowned out by
Mm-hmm.
everyone just telling them to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was one of my favorite games of last year because I'm a huge Budokai Tenkaichi guy, and there is a lot of stuff I loved about that game, especially the sparking episodes, like the cool concept of just entire what if stories. Like that was
Right.
rad. I wish there were a couple more, but what we got was like some of the coolest stuff I had seen from a Dragon Ball video game in a while. But man, every time I had wanted to do like actual ranked and stuff, like I maybe had fun for 1 or 2 matches, and then I just didn't want to play anymore.
Yep.
Like especially
That's the effect of That's the aspect of the game. Some people don't care about grinding, and the game doesn't give you a reason to keep grinding or playing ranked and stuff like that.
yeah,
Like what anime games really need to do, especially the arena fighters, they need to have player retention.
needs to
That's
keep
where they fail at
yeah needs to keep getting those
because
people to come back. Hey J man, welcome to the chat. Hope your night's going well.
hey, so it's frustrating when you have anime games and they don't do anything. Like for example, Demon Slayer is coming out, and Demon Slayer might have rank rewards, so they give you different costumes, or you get to a certain rank, you get something for playing it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they're not doing that with everything else. So that's a big thing you got to look into. While like some fighting games like Street Fighter hit Master Rank this season, yeah, you get this costume in this color, something to keep people playing the game. It don't got to be nothing grand scheme worthy or big, but that just says when updates and stuff is happening for it, giving people a reason to keep playing the game over and over again. Yeah.
I knew Nen Impact probably wasn't going to do that well, but how did it crash and burn that badly? From what Yaya says, it's nothing to really do with the gameplay. It's just the awful netcode is one of the major reasons.
Yeah. So the big thing about Nin Impact is a lot nowadays in that community, if it doesn't look like, I hate to use this comparison, but if it, you know how some gamers are, they're like, they look at The Last of Us, right? And they look
Like,
at The Last of Us and they're like, that's how I want every game to look. If it doesn't have that AAA anime look to it, it's not worth it to them. Nin
yeah,
Impact, as a product, I will tell you, the product doesn't have much to warrant to it besides just the fighting game components. The story mode, the single player aspect, that's just 3 hours or so or something like that.
the
Whatever.
story mode is only 3 hours.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's
It's really a glorified tutorial.
okay. So they don't go to like
Yeah.
Chimera Antark or anything, because
No, they go through the events of Chimera and Arc, but when there's fights, they're teaching you.
oh, okay. Also, J
Yeah,
Man, is this
which
better?
personally, yeah. But and then it's $60 for the way it looks. I can't tell people to drop $60 on the game if it looks that way, you know?
Yeah, like I every time I hear somebody talk about like what they want from a fighting game, one thing that gets brought up more than anything as what they think the standard of the fighting games should be is fighters. Like that is the one game that everybody will point to, and I kind of agree because I think fighters has, in terms of style, I think fighters looks the best visually, and we're seeing that kind of
Which is
again.
fair.
What was that?
Yeah. I said I think that's fair, but at the same time, I had a deep realization that a lot of people complain about fighting games, and this might be a person that's already in the space, and this might be head ass, but I'm gonna just go out and say it. People make excuses for fighting games and let other genres slide without them. Like for example, why can Valorant and Fortnite be okay with that main game mode? Now Fortnite has all this other shit. Just talking about for the 2 to 3 years, it was just battle royale and maybe like save the world or something like that. But everybody primarily plays battle royale. Why does it need a story? Why does fighting games need the story mode or this other type of stuff for the game? Right? It's like people want fighting games to be what it not what it's not. Like for example, people want uh action RPG modes and fucking fighting games. I'm like, I want my games to be better packages, right?
Right.
But when you play a fighting game, your goal is to play the fighting game, not trying to play freaking Final Fantasy 16 and Guilty Gear. Like, no, you're buying the product because you like the fighting game part of things. And that's the thing about fighting games, it's infinite gameplay. With fighters is a well-rounded package. It had its own original story mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you had like two character unlockables. Everything else in that game, nobody ever talks about in fighters, right? Especially when it came out, it didn't even work. And I think a lot of people just shift the goalposts for a genre that they think they're interested in, but they want to make excuses to why they don't want to play it.
Yeah, I think I can agree why like I don't think Fortnite will get like shit for that because again at the end of the day that's free. I think people assume that because they're dropping like $50 to $70 on these fighting games that they need to come in with more than just the fighting game versus aspect, which I think is weird because that's what you kind of pick up fighting games for. In my
Yeah.
opinion, a Hunter x Hunter should have come out with an action adventure game or RPG. I would play a Hunter x Hunter RPG. I admit that.
So let me tell you guys something. Hunter x Hunter had multiple. They just never hit the United States. There's one called Green Island Adventure on the PSP. I think there's another one on another console as well.
I'm checking that. Like,
On PSP as well, or it might be mobile or something. But they have had those fighting games people have been asked. I mean, those other type of games people have been asking for. They just never hit the United States. So that's the thing. I don't know. I think Hunter x Hunter was going to get a fighting game eventually. It's been in every other arena fight, every other crossover for so long.
I'm surprised it
It
took
was just
them
only a
this
moment
long
of
to make
time.
to make a fighting game.
Yeah, because they probably was like, let's do something different that nobody has the licensing to.
Zatch Bell's right
Like thinking
there.
about it, right? I honestly think Zatch Bell is next. Don't get it twisted. I think Zatch Bell is next. Knowing aiding, if they don't disappear after this, they should be next. Zatch Bell, probably Bloody Roar.
I'd kill for another Zatch Bell game, man.
Yeah.
Like, just in general, like, that series is such a big part of my childhood growing up that I'd love to see it just revived again.
Mm-hmm. Who knows who's got the power? Power.
Such a good opening.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think going back to what I was saying earlier, I think a lot of people, the main reason they want all this extra stuff in the fighting game is because they're looking at it from their like a wallet perspective.
Right. Which is fair.
It's very much
Which is
like
completely fair.
it's very much a concept of like if I'm dropping $60 on this game, then I think in a lot of people's minds they want more. They want more than enough to justify it. So they're like, well, I want this story mode, and I want like character customizable stuff, and I want like DLC that'll give me more stuff to do. And it's like, I can get that, but that's also not the main thing to pick up fighting games for.
Yeah, and I feel like from a package perspective, that is completely justified and fine. Like if you feel that way, if that's how you feeling, that is a W because you know what you're paying for as a consumer. Prime example, I bring up Street Fighter 6 a lot. Street Fighter 6 to me is the perfect fighting game package, but it's also an anomaly because it's Capcom, right? They have this world tour mode, which essentially it's open zone Yakuza, whatever, if that's the same thing. And then you have like in the battle hub you could play other Capcom games such as Mega Man and other things in there too for a limited time. Then you got the fighting game. And I think that's generally fair for those type of games. But people are even trying to do that with like free to play fighting games. Like fighting games need to have this game mode and this game mode. And I'm like, but the shooters don't have to do this. Marvel Rivals, if you want to be real, Marvel Rivals has just quick play, ranked, and then Doom match, right? And in that game, people Doom matches only really played either A if you're trying to learn a new hero, or B you trying to complete your weekly missions or something like that. That's it. That's all. And I feel like in a lot of times people just make it's easier to sit there and say for fighting games, hey man, I got a homie with me. So therefore I could be trash and have fun with this. Versus one on one, people have their egos and prides on the line. They don't like losing, which is fair. I get it. Nobody likes to lose.
No, I certainly don't.
Yeah.
And
But
again,
anime games, ooh, that's so much more I could keep going. Just keep going.
yeah. Also, I think anime, like, I'm gonna be like dropping something insane here, but I genuinely do think anime communities have gotten like way more toxic nowadays.
Yes.
So it's like a fighting game and an action adventure game, for example, are not comparable in regards to value because people play them for different reasons. Yeah, I guess it's fair. Like they're tackling different genres, but at the same time, I think if you're going to charge $60 to $70 nowadays, then they both need to at least be on the same level of quality.
Yep. I think that's true though, because like for example, you look at certain games for different reasons, right? I'm not
Right.
gonna compare I'm not gonna compare Guilty Gear Straw. Let's use this. I'm not gonna compare Dragon Ball Fighters to Kingdom Hearts 2. You get two different type of experiences and playtime out of those games, right? For
Right.
me, as a person who likes going to these events and want to get better in these games and just generally like the loop of fighting games, right? I could put 1,000 hours into a game. You could put 1,000 hours in Kingdom Hearts 2, but you know, for most people nowadays, especially in gaming, a lot of people don't replay their video games. So that 30, 40 hours is that one experience you get out of it. It's not fair to compare it because that 40 hours can feel like 1,000 to the player of Kingdom Hearts 2. You know, it just all comes down to perspective, and they are two different things. So you are right, Code.
Yeah, and that's speaking of which, in terms of like gaming value, do you think any like fighting game in these past couple of years has been like an anime like fighting game or just an anime game in general that has justified it? like full like price to you, or has like everything walked, or have you?
Mm. If we're talking about anime games specifically, I can say that for me, I care about gameplay more than everything else. Because if I don't like gameplay, and if it doesn't have the necessary features to where like online where I can play with people and spectate, it gets rocky in areas. But I will say, if I had to say any fighting games recently, and a lot of people may not agree with this, I will say Street Fighter 6 is one, Tekken 8's another. Pretty much all the fighting games, I'm not gonna lie to you, that came out from 2020 to now, minus Nin Impact, have been worth it in terms of the full price package because I have training mode, I have lobbies, I have good tutorials, I have good net code. Like that's the main key factors that matter to me in fighting games, right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't really care about the story mode aspect of things, especially if it's not promoted to me in some of this big grandeur, or if it's not something like Under Night or Fate, because I like visual novels. For me, it doesn't take much to make a story mode happy for me. I am a big fan of this, like telling me what it is, showing me what it is. That's better than nothing.
True. That's. I probably have to say that's for me as well. I like when the gameplays are fun. Games? Are you talking about licensing? I'm talking about both, honestly.
Yeah, he's talking about both. Like for example, I think if you want to get into fighting games, since he said that, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising is a good starter one for everybody. I think that is the perfect beginner fighting game for everybody to play because you learn fighting games, you get into it. That game has not only the story mode aspect, but it also has Fall Guys as a game mode, a complete different
Oh
contrast
my
from the
god,
actual game.
I forgot that
They went
Versus
above and
Rising
beyond for
had
that.
that. Like,
Yeah, they have a like a put Machinko machine or like crane game where you can get unlockables every day from it. It's solid. It
yeah,
is solid.
I definitely need to dive more into Versus Rising. I want to get more into it because I just beat Relink, and like that was fun, and that makes me want to check out more Grand Blue stuff.
Yeah.
So another thing I've been curious about is throughout talks of the anime game genre, like nowadays we're getting. So let's say, for the sake of it, like if you could make your own anime game, like whatever genre you wanted, whatever franchise you wanted, what exactly would you make?
Ooh, that is interesting. Now, mind you, I have a whole bunch of ideas, so
You know what?
I'm not gonna go too,
We'll
I'm not
do.
gonna go too deep into them, but I'm gonna run them down.
I'm gonna give you a. I'm gonna be a little more freedom. List up to like 3 to 5, so you don't have to feel like you just have to list out one.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. So number one, well, I'll start from five. Number five. Y'all might not agree with this. A Jujutsu Kaisen hero shooter would be amazing. And the reason why I say a hero shooter would be amazing is because how the characters interact with curse energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And characters use them in different various forms. A lot of people think that JJK is just fighting, which, yeah, you could be that as shonen, but characters use their energy in different ways. Like, for example, if you play Curse Cat Clash, right? Some characters had, like, hits that they get the precise hit, they did more damage, like the Nami. Or you could have Yuji be the melee character, like Iron Fist. And I'm basing it off of Marvel Rivals a little bit, but like just Overwatch 2, all other hero shooters as well. Nobara could literally be Skullgirl, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is an example of that. And I'll explain the Jump Force after we get past that, after I finish this, because I saw that comment. JJK hero shooter would be pretty cool. Next one I would really love to see. I personally think CC2 should take what they did with Dragon Ball Kakarot and do it for Naruto one last time. This time, do it from the beginning of Naruto up to the end of Shippuden. I think that would be really fun to do because we haven't had a definitive Naruto single player story experience since forever. We haven't had that outside of the Storm games,
Was
and all you gotta do is just redo some of their cinematics or shit. I don't care, port them over, but just make an action RPG experience for Naruto.
I feel
I would
like
want somebody else to do it, but
I
there's that.
I feel like the last time we
Um,
saw something like that was like Broken Bond on the 360. Also, you got a
yes,
question from
those are my
J
yeah.
Man.
Yeah,
Avataryaya.
I'm gonna answer his question. I'm gonna answer his question after I finish the list. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Um, but actually, I just answer it now. And it says, "Want to explain your history with Jump Force? Crazy how far removed we're past from that era where that game was relevant. All right, so Jump Force, I think is the worst. I don't know if I can curse or not, but
Go right ahead. I
Ju-
don't care.
all right, Jump
Like,
Force is the worst fucking anime crossover in history of everything. I absolutely hate that game with a passion. That game almost made me delete my YouTube channel and delete my presence from the internet the best way I can. That game completely lied to me. The beta version was fun. Then we get to the open beta. The game is completely different. It's a way worse Storm 4. I hate it. I literally told everybody, I hate this game. I'm going to clickbait you guys for the month to get my money back because I spent $100 on it. That is how much I hate Jump Force. And literally, that game, however, what makes me mad about Jump Force, and a lot of people won't agree with me, I think the roster is amazing. I love every character that's in there, from Boruto to Deku to Black Clover. Then the DLC was even crazier. We got Kaiba's DLC. That's the first. This is probably the first and last game we're ever gonna get Kaiba's DLC. So that was the point. Jump Force is a really bad game, and that game caused so many problems. I think Jump Force is the big cataclysm on how people feel about anime games. That game is the start of the downfall for being the community being split.
the
But the
only
game
positive
sold really well.
the only positive
Yeah.
I'll say for Jump Force is that you could do stupid shit like make your own like green Namekian and name them Hurdy D Gurdy. Like that is the one thing I'll give it is you can make the most stupid looking protagonist possible, so you can at least have fun with that. Everything else is garbage from what I've played.
Yeah. I can't do it. I really couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's that
I
was
don't know.
such a miss, especially because I've been playing some older Jump games, especially the DS ones, and it's like, man, the dropping quality is like insane in comparison to Ultimate Stars on the DS.
Yeah, that's all I want. All I want. Let me finish the list, and we'll
All
get
right,
to it
finish
because
the
then that
list.
ties into it. And all right, number three. Um, I would like to see Don Da Don Mario Party. I don't
Oh,
know why, or Don Da Don WarioWare. That's what I would love to see. I think that'd be hilarious, right? Um, After that, I really do want them to do another jump crossover game, and people saying no, why are they gonna make another Jump Force? Hey, fine, whatever. But for people that don't know, people keep saying Jump Force flopped. No, it did not. It sold 5.14 million sales. It did really good. So there's another jump game probably coming down the road in the next 2 to 3 years. I feel it's about time anyway. However, I just want them to just make a modern Jump Ultimate Stars. And what makes me mad about that is that Bandai is the one that worked on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So just take Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and reskin it with freaking Shonen Jump characters. And lastly, the most wanted game of all time is I want my damn Naruto fighters. It's frustrating that Dragon Ball got it when at that time Naruto fans was constantly talking about give us a Naruto 2D fighter. But yes,
excellent
that's
choices.
it. Yep.
There's actually three in particular I have. For one, I want to see Naruto take another crack at the turn-based RPG stuff because they did that on the DS, and I thought those games were okay. But I'd love to see CyberConnect 2 mix like their crazy visual style together with like a turn-based game because I feel like that could look and play really fun if done right. The second is I want a proper Bleach action RPG. I feel like we've never gotten one of those. Like even though Naruto and like One Piece can have like action RPGs that feel like they leave a bit to be desired, at least they got them. Bleach feels like it has so much potential for video games and it's never really capitalized on all that much. And last but not least, I want a proper One Piece action RPG. Like full on, give me skill tree, like give me like a Souls like One Piece. Like I'm someone who loves when the anime games
Mhm.
try to fully like experiment with stuff like that. And that's why I've also been a fan of this era because we've been getting a lot of really crazy stuff. But then there's also just the weird nonsense that we got with the DS and GBA era because it was super easy to make games on those systems. And it's like I want that kind of weird stuff again. Give me like a pixelated Dragon Ball beat 'em up RPG again.
Okay, okay. Hmm.
Kill for a World
Hmm.
Trigger third person shooter. That would be pretty fun.
I like that. I actually like that. That's a cool idea.
World Trigger in general, I got to get back to. I watched the first 40 or so episodes. I really liked what I saw, but never finished it.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm not a big World Trigger fan, but I'm down to play whatever. That's one thing about me with anime games. I may not like your inherent IP, but I'm still gonna try it and play it. Like I'm the biggest Seven Deadly Sins fan hater all the time. I absolutely do not like that series one bit. I will tell you. Yeah.
I watched like the first half of the first season and I never continued. I didn't hate it, but it never. I didn't have that like click with me that it did with stuff like Freerun or Dan to Dan where I wanted to continuously watch it. I like the concept though, but
Yeah.
like the manga is fantastic. So I know the anime, like the main thing I know is like the later seasons get like a huge, like a different team entirely, and it just goes super down in quality, like like ugly, like unforgivable levels of quality, and like that's all I know about its later seasons.
Okay.
What else was there? I know I had a couple other questions to ask you. I should have written them down. Oh yeah, I think I remember one now. Do you see like any so for games like Nen Impact and like Cursed Clash and actually I think the better question is like do you see something like Nen Impact going the way of multiverses anytime soon or do you think it could possibly pick itself up with updates?
Oh, okay. Multiverse is a whole different beast of a game because that game was failed by I don't even get into that. Then Impact is see the thing is with anime games and a lot of people in that space, unfortunately, if it's trash, they're gonna think it's trash. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If Nen Impact, the only way to save itself is if the company comes out and goes, Hey, we overhauled this. Right? Like we're going like, all right, it looks better now. Roll back netcode comparable to Guilty Gear Strive, adding a new extra mode to the game. Like if they do that, cool. Because everything the truth of it is whatever game is that comes out day one, it does get better with updates. That is the beautiful of what the era we in now. It is not the PS2 era where we have to sit there and just be like, damn man, this is what we got. The game will get better with updates and it will get better over time. How much support how much support it'll get is a whole different discussion.
I personally
But I think Curse Clash got updated and it got to be a way better game. Like they gave us free DLC and characters too.
I wonder if they're ever gonna re-update because I don't know if the last update added characters like Harugama or it's spoilers for Jujutsu Kaisen. Sorry, Harugama or fucking the people Yuta fought, or if we're gonna get like a Sukuna form.
Oh, so essentially what anime games, what you don't know, is that when anime games get made, they go by a license. So they either go by the anime license where they can only adapt up to the current point in the anime. So I don't see any new later characters than what we already got in Curse Clash until season 3 comes out. So that's how anime games work. Either they buy the anime license or they buy the manga license and they go by that.
Mm,
So we probably won't get those characters until there's potentially either another JJK game in the future when season 3 is done, or they decide to come back years later and then update Curse Clash.
I see. I actually did not know that about anime games. That's fascinating. That they just went by like how far they were. I thought they just picked honestly. The only anime game I think I've seen shut down almost immediately was One Punch Man, a hero nobody. I forgot about that. Holy shit!
Game nobody wanted.
I I don't know why anyone was asked why they thought like a One Punch Man fighting game when the whole series is about the main character defeats people in one hit.
Well, the game would have been cool. It's just the team they outsourced it to was garbage.
I never picked it up because it just didn't sound like my scene. So I heard it got pretty
Yeah.
low reviews all around by people, but I never really bothered to
Man,
figure out why.
that is the game that I will argue that is worse than Jump Force. But I will say it got One Punch Man in it and it does look better. So take that as you will. There's a whole community like that's the worst game that came out in that time period. Jump Force, One Punch Man, Hero, nobody knows. But to be honest, you see more people like the Japanese players. They have fun with the stupidness of One Punch Man.
Gotcha. So they liked it because it was ridiculous. Spike Chunsoft are cool as visual novel developers, but fighting games, nah. Spike Chunsoft's the Danganronpa developers, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I knew the name sounded familiar. Man, that's crazy to think that that came from the same studio.
All right. So here's the thing about the past of them. You may not know because that's what they put out, but they've been making video games since 1997.
Wow.
Their first video game, if I'm not mistaken, they were a publisher. I think they was the developers of Lupin the Third Chronicles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lupin had its own game, if y'all know what Lupin is. But when we get to what we know growing up, they made a lot of games as well. Like Spike worked on a lot of fighting games in the early 2000s at least. You know, even developers like what you don't know, we roast Spike Chunsoft, but they made Sparking. They worked on Tenkaichi with Tenkaichi 1, 2, and 3, and Raging Blast all the way up to that, and even Ultimate Tenkaichi.
We don't.
So they can make cool shit. It's just that like, what are they doing?
They can make cool shit, and then they can make Ultimate Tenkaichi, but they can make cool shit.
Right. Yeah. So Spike Chunsoft Steins Gate is good. What is it? AI Somnus Files, pretty good. But everything else, I get mad at. I'll be like, why are they on this? Yep.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I completely forgot they worked on the Tenkaichi games. I was usually just skipping past the
Yep.
developers to get to having Goku punch Goten in the face.
Mhm.
I may have to pay more attention to that in the future. So,
Yep. That was old Spike.
do you think it would, okay, so here's actually an interesting question. Do you think One Punch Man could have been saved? Or do you think
Oh
that
yeah, they could have completely fixed that game around. Like if they would have gave it lobbies and gave it what we generally want to make content with, that's a big thing that holds the anime games back is that they don't have ways for us to play. Like the way Naruto Storm and Xenoverse grew up, they have lobbies to host groups of people to play with their friends. Playing with one friend, cool, but then if you want everybody else to play with you to buy the game, there's no reason to, because only one person can watch or fight at a time. That's stupid. But One Punch Man, as a game from its design core, it has something going there for it. It's just again, like could have been wacky fun. People were making millions of views off of One Punch Man, that game that came out.
mm-hmm.
But I don't know. They're gonna have to try harder.
Yeah, do you also do you think anime games are like, do you think there should be more of a content creator like voice in the community as time has gone on, as they've become more and more of it, as because anime has obviously gotten a lot more popular in recent years thanks to the COVID pandemic and like more people finally checking it out. Do you think it
Um,
would be smart, or do you think developers should not listen to content creators? Because that's always been an interesting discussion about these kinds of games. Is like, should they go with what they think is right, or should they talk to content creators who spend like hours of their lives on the specific anime or fighting game or anything like that?
yeah. So put it like this. I think they should listen to content creators, but not all of it. Right? Like if they don't know what to do or what's wrong, they should listen to content creators for feedback. But then again, as a developer, you gotta take feedback the best way it's needed, right?
Right.
Like in some ways, for example, I'll use Bleach. I'm a content creator that makes content for Bleach. I don't think I'm the richest person to listen to, but I do know what is needed for these games. So when the community and the YouTubers are like, we need ranked, we need better lobbies, we need more updates and cosmetics and stuff like that, right?
Right.
That stuff is important to listen to. However, when it comes to balancing and developing the game, you have to do internal testing and using the data that you get from people playing the game to see, all right, this might be too strong. This might be too weak. Why is nobody using this character? To make better judgment of balancing. Because regardless of what the player base says about some things, The data can also show nobody's really using these things unless there's something wrong in the code. There's multiple. It's a back and forth thing. Well, like yes, they should listen to content creators, especially the ones that buy their games, push content out for them. They should be aware of them and what they're saying about their games. Sometimes it's not even up to them. They probably do see it, but can't comment on it because of agreements and non-disclosure agreements, or clauses with some companies.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And to continue this, I guess to be a little more positive, are there any anime games that you're like any sort of anime or fighting games you're especially looking forward to?
Oh, I can tell you this. Right now, Demon Slayer is next month.
Oh, that's next
Demon
month.
Slayer, yeah, Demon Slayer is the first of the month, August 1st.
Interesting. I have
Um,
Hinokami Chronicles, so
yeah, we the community generally loves Hinokami Chronicles because they made the gameplay way better than Storm in some ways. Like they normalized it, right? A lot of people like a lot about that. I think it's a pretty fun game too. Um, I think the biggest one that people should be putting their eyes on is called the Hidden Ones, aka Hitori no Shida. It will be a free to play arena fighter, but it's balanced with fighting game intent behind it. Has a beautiful story mode. Like that is the next coming of Naruto Storm. I
Hitori
strongly
no
feel like
Hitori no
yeah, or
Shida.
just type in yeah, or just type in the Hidden Ones.
Oh, here we
Right, the
go.
Hidden Ones is the one that one's gonna be crazy. I think that is probably gonna be the next arena fighter, that catches on, and it's coming out everywhere supposedly this year. The one I'm really excited about right now is My Heroes All's Justice. I generally do like One's Justice. I have some gripes with it that I had with two, but as time goes on, I rather play One's Justice than most other things. And I think the game has what makes One's Justice so beautiful is the way every character you have to learn to some extent. You can't just mash circle and get damage off all the way with characters. You have to learn certain inputs and strings. It's very close to traditional fighting games.
I remember getting the first one's Justice, and I actually really enjoyed it. It was one of the few arena fighters I tried to play ranked.
Yeah.
That was a good game. What other?
Hmm.
Because
Again, fun. I like that game.
yeah, I might pick up All's Justice. I want to see a little bit more gameplay from it. Like the main fighting game I'm looking forward to more than anything is the Marvel one we're now getting.
Hmm.
Because first of all, I was kind of shocked to see that Marvel was the first one to kind of like go for the next Arxis like Dragon Ball style. Like I thought they would do another anime style like either Naruto or One Piece. I was kind of shocked to see it be Marvel, but it also looks super fun.
Yeah. I think Tokon can be a very solid experience. I already know that's gonna be good though. That's gonna be Arx's next baby. So we know they're gonna cook on that. Now, it might be some ingrained stuff like deep into the game that people may not like, but it's still gonna be a solid product. They already told us rollback's gonna be in the game, motion inputs are in the game, like normal fighting games, cross plays in the game. So it already got a. It to me, them saying that is already worth the 60, 70, or whatever they want to charge for it. Because at least I know what I need from a fighting game is there day one.
Yeah, and it looks like the roster is going to be good. I'm interested in how they're going to implement the 4-on-4. Is that going to be different? Is like the health going to drop faster? Because I feel like one thing that can hurt a fighting game is matches taking too long.
So what I think the 4v4 is, it's all shared one health bar. If you play the game like Tekken Tag Tournament, um, heck, even Naruto Storm, everybody shares a health bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
But each button on the controller, depending on which way you hit it, like up, down, or forward, could be three assists. The other three assists, right? Like other tag fighters.
Right.
They're just doing it in a way to where it's generalized. Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, I'm excited. Like it looks fantastic. Like it already has me interested, and because I want to try to get more into fighting games these next couple of years or months. Try out something new.
Mhm. Yeah, if you have any suggestions on fighting it, like if you want to get into something, like right now, 2SKO is gonna probably be the first big one this year because it's supposed to come out this year and it's free to play. We're probably gonna know more about it next month. But you can also download Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. It's a free to play version as well.
I've actually got that
So,
downloaded. I've decided that sometime this week I'm going to try to dedicate some time to actually learning the combos with Narmaya
mhm.
because I really liked playing as her.
Yep, Narmaya's pretty dope.
Yeah, like
Yeah, she's the one.
again, I wanted to try out more fighting stuff basically because the closest I had ever gotten to getting into fighting games was arena stuff and like if you could even call them fighting games, the Smash Bros games.
I call them fighting games. Regardless, I'd look at everything as fighting games, even if people don't. Sakura just doesn't say it because then it puts limitations on it as a genre, right?
Right.
And like, if he says that, people are gonna be like, "Well, we don't ask for this stuff no more." And I'm like, "No, he wants to keep it to where it's clickbait." I guarantee you, he's just not saying it's a fighting game. Like even with you could go watch his Sakura Presents. The way he treated Sephiroth in the game, he was like, "Oh, I can't talk about that stuff." Like the
Yeah.
fighting game mindset. So yeah, as much as he wanted to,
Man,
yeah.
is backed against a corner, but we love him. Very curious to see what the next Smash is going to be because that's going to be something I'm
Mhm.
super excited for. I don't. That's pretty much all I had to really say, unless you have like some final things to talk about. Like, you'd like to say
Um.
anything?
So here's my thing. I just want to make sure for everybody with anime games. I understand being frustrated with the state of your video game. This goes outside of anime games too. And I want people to know that when it comes to these games, there's a lot of stuff that you don't know behind the scenes why stuff come out the way it do. Believe me, every video game will love to add the development time as something of declare obscure or etc. You know, that
Mm-hmm.
is very important. But when you don't like something and something's not broken or missing, don't curse the company out. Just at them, tell them, "Hey, this is a problem," because they do be watching. But if you curse me out, like I'm gonna be honest, I've been saying this for the past couple of days. You're gonna curse me out, right? You go curse me out, and you already gave me my 70. I already got your $70. I don't have to listen to you. That's messed up. But why are you cursing me out when I could help fix the product for you?
That's a very good point.
Yep. So I don't know. Just be more nicer. The world need more people that can talk.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that should be said about that is it does need more people that are talk than people that can insult.
Yes, 100%. God, thank you. That just made me happy.
And that's
Yes.
really all I had to say. The time I have, I got to go do something. But thank you for coming to join me on this. Thank you for making time to
Oh yeah, much love.
be a part of
Hmm.
this. For those who wanted to watch again, I'll be uploading this onto the second channel hopefully tomorrow. I'll be leaving, and if you want to follow Avataryaya, I'm going to be leaving his link to his channel down below on the second channel. So do me a favor and give him a sub. And I hope you all have a good night, and I'll see you next time for the next airship liftoff.
Hey, cool intro. That's a Tails reference, isn't it?